Hopefully I'm peeking over the hip spin.
Yeah, Monday night football.
I'm trying to let's see that.
Right,
And I'll, make
Been
it,
it a long time.
Yeah.
I'll be dizzy and
Somebody told me my bet was right.
McClellan. McClellan. Operations. EP.
Right, right. Okay, it is 7 o'clock. We do have a quorum. We'll call the city council meeting to order. First item on the agenda tonight is the invocation by Councilman Guarina, and then the pledge of both the American and Texas flags by Councilman Thornhill.
If you'd stand with us, please. Bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight to ask you, Lord, for wisdom and the knowledge to make the right decisions, Lord, to make decisions with mercy and compassion, to do what is right, Lord, in the best of our ability. Lord, we also pray for those people that protect us, our military, our police force, our fire departments. And Lord, we also ask that you watch over all of us, our citizens of Louisville and America, Lord. Please bless this country, bless the state, and bless this city. We ask this in your Son's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, I can have Elsa Wagner come in, please. And after the pledge, come up with me. Thank you so much. All your work's good. Just to give you a little background, I'm going to make a presentation here and a proclamation in just a minute, but I want to give you a little background on this. And Elsa is on our Human Resources Department here at the city. And as you know, any place where you work, how important human resource is. One, they do your paychecks. So we all know that's very important. But also, they strive and work hard to make sure that the employees are happy, that they enjoy the places where they work, and that they provide good customer service, and that they feel like they are given good service as team members of our community also. And then we also have Ashley, and Ashley is VP of Operations for Medical Center of Louisville. And Ashley basically kind of oversees similar things. She oversees their HR department and a lot of their stuff, and makes sure that their employees are feel like they have a home to go to when they go to work. They have a place, an environment that they enjoy. And to prove that, we actually went to lend credence to that, I guess I should say. We actually went to an awards ceremony the other day down in Dallas at one of the hotels in Dallas, and the Dallas Morning News had done a survey, and I'll read a little bit about that in all the proclamations, but they did several thousand companies in North Texas, and they gave away awards for the best places to work, and they listed the top 100 of out of the several thousands that applied, and it wasn't just cities, it was all type of employers, and they had 3 categories: small business, medium-sized business, and large businesses. Large businesses were over 500 employees. Small businesses, medium business, I believe, were from 145 to 500, and small businesses were under 145 employees. Believe it or not, we also have we were in that category. So is Medical Center of Louisville, and we also have another company. They could not be here tonight, but it's Pergo, and they're in the medium category, and they were also in the top 100. So tonight, I want to show the appreciation for these communities. You know, we were the only city, except for Dallas and Louisville, were the only cities that had 3 employers that were ranked in the top 100. So I think that just goes to show something about our community and our city here, that not only do our citizens enjoy it, but the people enjoy coming to Louisville to work. And I think that's really a testimony for our community, and that's why we have so many businesses coming to town. We got one coming tonight that are coming here and making this town flourish even more. So I want to thank both of you ladies for all you do and all your staff. And at this time, I want to present you both with a plaque, or this one's actually certificate is presented to the City of Louisville as recognition for being chosen a 2010 Top 100 Place to Work. And it's signed by Jim Maroney of Top 100 Dallas Morning News. Here's this. We'll hold this. No, you get in there too. All three.
Okay. I didn't want to steal anyone's
And I've got 3 proclamations. We'll hold those up here in a minute, but I'm only going to read one of them. They're all the same. Did I give you the right one?
Okay. Yes.
Oh, good. I did. Okay. Whereas Workplace Dynamics recently surveyed more than 48,000 employees from more than 1,000 North Texas employers as part of an annual effort to evaluate the top local workplaces. And whereas on November 7th, the Dallas Morning News published a list of the top 100 workplaces in North Texas based on the results of those surveys. And whereas 3 Louisville employers were among the top 100 companies honored in 2010 as being great places to work. And whereas Medical Center of Louisville was ranked number 12 among large employers, City of Louisville was ranked number 16 among large employers, and Perigo, Inc. was ranked 28th among big-side employers. Whereas 3 Louisville employers were among the top 100 companies honored in 2010 as being great places to work. Whereas Medical Center of Louisville was ranked 12th among large employers, City of Louisville was ranked 16th among large employers, and Perigo, Inc. was ranked 28th among mid-sized employers. And whereas quality workplaces are a key component to a thriving business community and prosperous economy in Louisville, now therefore I, Dean Euchert, Mayor of the City of Louisville, along with the members of the City Council, do hereby proclaim November 15, 2010 as Quality Workplaces Day in the City of Louisville, and encourage all residents to extend their congratulations to the 3 recognized employers, as well as all the many quality workplaces that operate in Louisville, proclaimed this 15th day of November 2010. I want you to give all of them, please, a big round of applause. And I don't want you to think that we just gave ourselves a plaque. They actually gave us this plaque. They gave a hospital plaque at the awards ceremony. We just had ours with us here tonight. So they got a plaque also. I'll give you all a moment to say a few words if you'd like to. If you don't want you to, they pass.
Thank you.
No, we're just happy to be among, the City of Louisville receiving this award, and we're very thrilled to be a large employer in the community and to collaborate with the City of Louisville on all endeavors and continue to serve the community for their health care. Thank you.
You got your pictures, Tim? Okay.
Did I look at the camera?
There we go. Open the process.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I tell you, it was a very proud and honored moment when we went down there and we saw, you didn't know when you got there what the rankings were, and you didn't know till the very end because they kept it all a secret. It's kind of one of those Academy Award type things. They had an envelope, please. And it was really neat to see where we ranked and all those. So I was really proud of our community. Item D is a public hearing, consideration of an ordinance for a zone change from office district to Old Town mixed use on a .437 acre tract located at 314 West Main Street, further identified as the Davidson Place Addition, Lot 1, Block A, as requested by Jewett Investments Incorporated, the property owner. The proposed zoning classification Old Town mixed use 2 is In keeping with the recommendations of the Old Town Master Plan, the applicant would like to rezone for better flexibility in use and setbacks of the property. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted 5-0 in favor of the zoning change request on their October 26, 2010 meeting. The recommendation of staff is that the council approve the proposed ordinance amending the Louisville City Code, Chapter 17, the comprehensive zoning ordinance as set forth in the caption above. We need to close the public hearing. I don't have any cards filled out.
Move to close the public hearing.
I have a motion by Councilman Thornhill to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second by Councilman Watts. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councilman Durham,
If nobody has anything else, move to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Councilman Durham.
Second.
Second by Councilman Thornhill. Councilor?
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, that amends the zoning ordinance of the City of Louisville, Texas, granting zoning changes on the .437-acre tract of land fully and completely described in the attached Exhibit A, ordering a change in the use of said property from office district zoning to Old Town Mixed Use 2 district zoning, correcting the official zoning map, preserving all other portions of the zoning ordinance, providing a clause relating to severability, determining that the public interest and general welfare demand a zoning change and amendment therein made, providing a penalty, and declaring an emergency.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is Visitor Citizen Forum. At this time, any person with business before the council not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the council. No formal action can be taken on these items at this meeting. I do not have any cards filled out at this time. The consent agenda is all the following items on the consent agenda are considered to be self-explanatory by the council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or citizen so requests. For a citizen to request removal of an item, a speaker card must be filled out and submitted to the city secretary. Councilman Grena has asked that we pull item number 5. So, Councilman Grena?
Yes, sir. We can, are we supposed to vote on everything else and then talk about 5?
Would you like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the removal of item number 5.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Grena to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 5, a second by Councilman Durham. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5 is approval of a contract between the City of Louisville and Denton County for the collection of outstanding fines and other amounts pursuant to Section 702.003 of the Texas Transportation Code by allowing the county tax assessor collector to deny the renewal of vehicle registration. Section 702 of the Texas Transportation Code authorizes municipalities to enter into agreements with county tax assessor collectors upon receipt of information from the municipality by and through the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles motor vehicle registration system to assist the municipality in the enforcement of outstanding warrants of arrest for the failure to appear or failure to pay a fine on an outstanding warrants of arrest, on a complaint that involves the violation of a traffic offense by refusing to register or re-register a motor vehicle. The program works by placing a flag on vehicle registration. In order to remove a flag, the owner must contact the court and pay the fine. There are 2 levels of agreements that must be put in place. The first was between the city and the Texas Department of Transportation, which was signed in August of this year. The second, between the city and Denton County, must be signed before the program can be implemented. The fee structure is assessed by the county and based on city population. The recommendation is the City Council approve the contract as set forth in the above caption. Councilman Grena?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to explain my position on this. It's pretty much the same as it was back in June when we did the state version. First, I want to make it very clear that if you have a traffic fine, you need to pay it. And if you don't pay it, you're going to get late fees, court fees, warrant fees, and then you're going to have a bench warrant when you don't show up or don't pay your fine. So don't let it get there, but you need to pay your fines. There's a lot of pros and cons to this. As a matter of fact, if you limit it out, there's a little more pros than there are cons. But in this position up here, I look at it that the big cons are really big to me. And if basically what it comes down to is if someone can afford to pay the $60 to get their tags renewed, let them pay it. You see, I have the honor of volunteering for the city on Sundays through the Louisville Citizens Police Academy and do warrant calling every Sunday after church. About 1 o'clock we meet up there and we call anywhere between 80 to 130 people who have either not going to pay, forgot to pay, which is very few, and those who just can't afford to pay. When I talk to those people, I know it's on the level and I'm up front with it. They need to pay, we call them, we give them a courtesy call to get it handled. Because see, if they don't get it handled and they get stopped, they're going to get arrested. What I see happening here with this is that they're not going to get their license tags renewed, a little sticker that goes on your windshield. And a lot of those tickets are for that now, for whatever reason. They couldn't afford it or whatever. But when you look at all the warrants, either no driver's license, no insurance, and they shouldn't be driving. If they can't afford it, in my opinion, they shouldn't be driving if they can't afford to drive. But they have, I'm sorry, I got distracted. They should, when you own a car, there are responsibilities, not just maintenance, gas, and oil, but your insurance, because it's state law, those things. The thing is that when some of these people have tickets, it's over $1,000 in fees and costs. I'm just saying they might have a problem paying $1,000, but if they can afford to pay that $60 or whatever to get their licenses, let them at least pay that. And to me, it's just going to be another domino on to fall on these people that are on the low end. And that, to me, is just a big domino. Now, I understand that when we get to a certain percentage, certain population, that we're going to be required to do that. And from what I understand today, and the judge can either nod or not, but there are maybe 15 cities in Texas that do this. Is that an average? Something about that. I guess we'll be one of those 15. It's in there, anywhere between 10 and 20, but it's there. As I said, on the surface, it looks good. Looks like something to do. I want people to pay their bills. And some pros. You want to know about some pros? We won't have to send a warrant officer out to arrest people. People will be notified, hey, you need to pay this. A lot of times when we're trying to call people on the weekends, their number's wrong, or they've changed their number, or they've moved to another county or another state, or whatever the case may be. Some of them aren't even in this country anymore. One of the cons is that if you're an adult and you have an adult child and you loan them your car and they get the ticket and don't pay it, now you can go to the court and say, hey, that was my kid, it's not my car, but it's just another delay, another obstacle to renew your tags because your kid was probably driving. That's a what-if type scenario. Anyway, I think I explained myself, so I'll be voting against this. I just think it's just another domino that we don't need to be putting on there, and I think when we have to do it is when we should do it. Thank you.
Councilman Watt?
Well, maybe it's the time I spent in a prosecutor's office for the brief period defending folks, but I never met a defendant who didn't have a sad story to go along with why they got their ticket, why they couldn't pay their ticket. To use John's analogy about dominoes tipping and falling on people, we're not tipping these dominoes. People individually made decisions, either poor driving or decided not to pay a fine, and if this helps motivate them to pay the fine that they incurred for breaking the law, I'm all for it. I move to approve.
I agree with you,
I
Bob.
have a motion to approve by Councilman Watts.
Second.
A second by Councilman Thornhill. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey,
Motion carries. And I did just want to touch base on item 6 that we did approve in the consent agenda. I wanted to thank Leanne Lowry from the mall and coming tonight and giving us our letter of support, and the Chamber of Commerce also for their letter of support, and also Medical Center of Louisville. And basically what that was on the widening of trying to move along the widening of I-35 has been promised to us for a number of years now. I can remember when we sat in this workshop room right over here, and we had people from the governor's office, from TxDOT, and from Council of Governments saying that it would be finished and completed by 2011 with cars driving on it. It would be completed and finished if we were to allow them to do 121 as a toll road. Well, we let them do the toll road, but we hadn't seen anything done, so we're trying to push the buttons a little bit, and hopefully we'll get something done soon. But thank again for coming in the chamber in Medical City, Louisville also. Okay, item 8 is consideration of 10 variances to the Louisville City Code, Chapter 6, Land Development Regulations for the proposed Chase Oaks addition, Phase 1, formerly the Villas of Wellington, Phase 1. In addition to the City of Louisville, located at the northeast corner of Valley Parkway and Bel Air Boulevard, as requested by Casey Ross, representing the developer First Texas Homes. The property is zoned Townhouse 2 and was originally platted by Portrait Homes as attached townhomes in August of 2007. The original development had 93 attached townhouse lots with a total of 12 variances granted for the project. The new development, Chase Oaks, Phase 1, is comprised of 67 residential lots, of which 17 are attached and 50 are proposed detached homes. The following 10 variances are being requested. To obtain building permits for 2 model homes and completion of existing townhomes prior to city acceptance of public improvements and final plat, with the provision that no certificate of occupancy for residency will be issued without acceptance of the Phase 1 subdivision. 2, to allow construction of public improvements to begin prior to the Planning and Zoning Commission approval of the final plat. 3, to allow the construction and installation of a city-approved sanitary sewer lift station in lieu of a conventional gravity system. 4, to allow certain sanitary sewer easements in lieu of right-of-ways. 5, to allow a lot-to-lot drainage in excess of allowable limits established by code. 6, to waive alley requirements, thus providing front entry. 7, to waive the construction of a right turn lane associated with Bel Air Boulevard to Valley Parkway. 8, to provide a reduced width drainage and sanitary sewer right-of-way. 9, to allow a public screening wall on private property within an easement adjacent to Valley Parkway. And 10, to allow portions of a public sidewalk to be placed on private property within an easement. The majority of the above-mentioned variances have already been previously approved by council with the original development. Recommendation of staff is that the council approve the requested variances as set forth in the above caption. I do have some cards here filled out. Tony Shaw, who is with First Texas Home, he is here to answer any questions you might have, and he is in support of this. Have Casey Ross, who is also here in support of this. And then I have Jake Petros, is also in support of this and here to answer any questions if we might have any. Councilman Watts?
I have no questions. I think it's great to see this property getting developed again.
Second.
Glad to have that going on. So unless anyone has questions, I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Watts to approve, second by Councilman Guerrino.
Mayor, could I ask a question? I'm sorry. We have Tony Shaw, please. Is he here tonight?
Mr. Shaw, come up, please.
Do you have any idea? This has been a sore spot for.
If you would just give your name and address for the record. Mr.
Sure.
Shaw.
Excuse me, it's Tony Shaw at 5000 Crescent Court, Dallas, Texas.
Thank you.
Like I was trying to say, it's been a sore spot for a while. Do you have any idea when these homes will be, when this will be completed?
As far as we're starting construction,
Right.
just as soon as possible, as part of our various requests is we want to get out there and get the townhomes that currently exist on site brought up to current code and finished and open for business to sell them.
Okay.
So within, hopefully, the next 90 days is our goal as far as it relates to the townhomes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Anybody else, any other questions? As Councilman Thornhill said, this has been a problem in the city. As we know, we've been going through some economic downturn here. All cities have and stuff, and this particular development went bankrupt, and it's been in the hands of banks and litigation and stuff for a few years now, and now we've got a developer willing to come in here and take that project over and finish it out. So we're looking forward to that. So we do have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 9 is consideration of a final plat of a storage center storage super center addition, lots 2R and 3R, Block A, 3.007-acre parcel zoned light industrial and warehouse located on the northeast quadrant of Main Street and Business Highway 121 with one plat-related variance and two site plan-related variances to the Louisville City Code, Section 6-103, access management as requested by the owner of Lot 3R-1. A previous plat and variances for this site were approved at the September 20th, 2010 council meeting. Since that time, the Quick Trip Corporation has secured a portion of Lot 2 of the Storage Super Center addition and wishes to incorporate that property into their lot and site plan. The subject property is being replatted for the purpose of constructing a Quick Trip gas station and convenience store. The applicant has applied for a plat-related variance, A, to allow a 220-foot control of access on Business 121 in lieu of the required 250 feet, and a 163-foot control of access on Main Street in lieu of the required 250 feet. The applicant has also applied for two site plan-related variances as follows. B, to allow driveway spacing as low as 60 feet along Business Highway 121 in lieu of the required 230 feet required for major traffic carriers, and C, to allow a modified median opening at 400 feet spacing along Business Highway 121 in lieu of the required 1,320-foot quarter-mile spacing for median openings along major traffic thoroughfares. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the plat and variance on a 7-0 vote at their October 26, 2010 meeting. Recommendation of staff is that council approve the plat of the Storage Super Center addition, lots 2R and 3R1, Block A, and requested variances as set forth in the caption above. Councilman Thornhill?
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have any issues here, and I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve by Councilman Thornhill.
When is that, excuse me, when are we looking to have that started to be developed?
Do you want to come forward, sir? And if you would, just state your name and address on that.
Just a general time frame. I know there's been some groundwork already.
Yes, my name is Jake Petras. I'm a real estate project manager for Quick Trip. We have already started grading out there. We've pulled permits for that a few weeks ago. Right now, my anticipated open date is April 6th.
April 6th of 11.
2011. Yes, sir.
Okay, so about 6 months.
Hopefully quicker, but we're
Great, thanks.
the conservative.
Thanks, sir. Any other questions? Got a motion by Councilman Thornhill.
Second.
Second by Councilman Guerrero. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 10 is consideration of request from Jack and Jill of America to waive fees for the Vista Ridge Amphitheater. Jack and Jill of America has requested the City Council consider waiving fees for a walk against child abuse to be held at the Vista Ridge Amphitheater, tentatively scheduled for April 9th, 2011. Recommendation of staff is that the council consider the request to waive rental fees for the Vista Ridge Amphitheater for the walk against child abuse, but require deposit and appropriate insurances. I do have some cards filled out here. I have Reginald Johnson, who is here in support and here to answer any questions. If you have any, Jennifer Jackson is also in support and here to answer any questions with North Texas chapter of Jack and Jill, and Mayledge Hamilton, who is also here to answer any question and in support of this item. Councilman Tierney?
Mayor, this is, I believe this is what, third year? Third year, outstanding. Fourth year. Outstanding. Keep up the good work. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve, we have a motion to approve by Councilman Tierney and a second by Councilman Thornhill. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, there weren't any fees or anything, other fees they had to pay, did they, for requesting the removal? For the variance or anything? No? Okay, just making sure there wasn't anything else.
But it's not on the agenda, so.
Okay.
Okay, motion approved. Okay, item 11 is consideration of an ordinance amending Louisville City Code Section 15-36.2, maximum speed limits for special school zone areas, establishing a school speed zone on Lake Park Road from 485 feet east of Oak Ridge Boulevard to 985 feet east of Oak Ridge Boulevard. The Louisville Independent School District has reopened the school campus on Savage Street for the new DeLay Middle School. The school serves the local area students and is generating considerable pedestrian traffic from the north and eastern neighborhoods. Staff has surveyed the routes and has observed students crossing from apartments to the south of Lake Park, is recommending the establishment of a school speed zone on Lake Park Road of 20 miles per hour. The crossing is marked and signed. The Transportation Board considered this item at their October 26, 2000 meeting and voted 4-1 to approve the recommendation to the City Council. The recommendation of staff is to approve the ordinance as set forth in the above caption. Councilman Tierney?
Mayor, I have no problems with this. Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Councilman Tierney.
Second.
Second by Councilman Watt.
Mayor.
You go ahead, sir.
I don't like this location here because it's a mid-block deal, but it appears that without the sidewalk on the south side, is that correct? And the way the railroad track is, was it right in here that there's not a sidewalk on part of the south side?
Staff can give you an answer here.
Okay.
Kevin Davis, Louisville Traffic Engineering. Yes, that's correct, Councilman. The south side along Lake Park, basically to the west of the location, presently does not have a sidewalk along it.
Okay. And on the way the Oak Ridge comes out right at the railroad track, is that a problem with putting a crossing there too?
We believe it would be, yes.
Okay. The mid-block is y'all's opinion is the best place?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I had, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Any other questions? We do have a motion and a second to approve. Councilor?
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, amending Chapter 15, Article 2, Section 15-36.2, maximum speed limits for special school zone areas of the Louisville City Code, establishing a school speed zone on Lake Park Road, providing a penalty clause, providing for severability, providing a repealer, providing an effective date, and declaring an emergency.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 12 is consideration of an ordinance amending the Louisville City Code Section 15-36, maximum speed limits near schools, amending the school speed zones on Charles Street, Fox Avenue, High School Drive, Lake Haven Drive, Mill Street, Milton Street, Pickett Street, and Purnell Street. The Louisville Independent School District closed the old DeLay Middle School campus, now called the Purnell Support Center, on Purnell Street and has moved it to Savage Street. This change requires alteration to the hours and limits of the surrounding school speed zones to reflect the needs for Central Elementary. Staff has surveyed and the present pedestrian traffic patterns and is recommending the times of operation as set forth in the caption. Transportation Boards considered this item at their October 26, 2010 meeting and voted unanimously to approve the recommendation to the City Council with a vote of 5-0. Recommendation of staff is to approve the ordinance as set forth in the above caption. Councilman Thornhill?
Thank you, Mayor. I go ahead and make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Councilman Thornhill,
Second.
a second by Councilman Durham. Any questions? Councilor?
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, amending Chapter 15, Article 2, Section 15-36, maximum speed limits near schools, and Section 15-36.3, maximum speed limits for special school zone areas during the summer months of the Louisville City Code, amending the school speed zones on Charles Street, Fox Avenue, High School Drive, Lake Haven Drive, Mill Street, Milton Street, Pickett Street, and Purnell Street, providing a penalty clause, providing for severability, providing a repealer, providing an effective date, and declaring an emergency.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13 is consideration of an ordinance amending the Louisville City Code Section 15-35, maximum speed limits on specific streets, establishing the maximum speed limit on College Street from Railroad Street to Valley Ridge Boulevard of 35 miles per hour, on Spinks Road from Duncan Lane to Edmond Lanes of 40 miles per hour, and on Valley Parkway from Round Grove Road to Farm Market 3040 to State Highway 121 business of 40 miles per hour within the city of Louisville. With the opening of the newly constructed sections of College Street, Spinks Road, and Valley Parkway, staff performs speed studies on each roadway to determine the 85th percentile of the speeds and have adjusted the speeds accordingly. Transportation Board considered this item during their October 26, 2010 meeting and voted 5-0 to recommend posting the maximum speeds as indicated above. Recommendation of staff is council adopt the ordinance as set forth in the above caption. Councilman Watts?
Unless anyone has questions, hearing none, move to approve.
Have a motion by Councilman Watts to approve.
Second.
Second by Councilman Tierney. Councilor?
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, amending Chapter 15, Section 15-35 of the Louisville City Code by establishing the speed limit on College Street, Spinks Road, and Valley Parkway, providing a penalty clause, providing for severability, providing a repealer, providing an effective date, and declaring an emergency.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 14 is consideration of an ordinance prohibiting the city from requiring project labor agreements on city construction projects. Councilman Watts requested an ordinance plan which would prohibit the city from requiring project labor agreements in municipal construction contracts. A PLA is a pre-hire agreement used by a project owner to set the terms under which a contractor who successfully bids the project proceeds in all labor relations connected to its subsequent work on the project. Although Texas is a right-to-work state, this ordinance would foreclose the argument, which has been successful in at least one other right-to-work state, that a PLA does not violate the right-to-work law. The recommendation of staff is that the council consider the proposed ordinance as set forth in the caption above. Councilman Watts?
Thank you, Mayor. Brought this up at the retreat and looked into it a little bit more. As the caption says, there has been case law established now that says that that PLAs don't violate right-to-work statutes. In the almost 4 years I've been on council, I think this is only the second ordinance that I've ever proposed, because in general I'm not the kind of person who thinks the answer to all of society's ills is a brand new law. But as particularly in construction, which my day job relates to, in areas of the country where the economy is not, even though it's bad everywhere, it's better here than it is in a lot of places. And one of the ways that the labor unions in the construction field have been trying to get work, frankly, for union contractors is to come into areas where the economy is pretty good, like Texas, and on a public job, try to get a project labor agreement, because it typically says in the agreement that you'll agree to use local workers, which sounds great, and who wouldn't want to sign something like that until you get into the definitions, and it doesn't include non-union construction workers in the definition of local worker. And in a market like this where there's not as much union representation, if you sign one of these, you run out of people to do the work. And so then they import union labor from other places. They're nicknamed travelers or boomers within the industry. So it's a roundabout way of getting work. Bureau of Labor Statistics says that about 15% of the construction workforce is represented by a union. So if you sign a pre-hire agreement that says you're going to use union labor, you've just eliminated 85% of the market from bidding on a job that the city would be constructing. So it's not a surprise that the statistics bear out that PLAs tend to increase the cost of construction by 10 to 15%. When you're dealing with other people's money, I think we should get the best deal that we could possibly get. I trust the men on this council would be wise enough not to sign one of these, but as I said in the workshop, we're not always going to be on the council, and we're not always going to have the great folks that we have on staff are not always going to be on staff, and there may come a time when folks might be tempted to sign one of these, and if so, they would at least have to repeal this ordinance, which hopefully would shine some light on the issue and maybe stop it from happening. Basically, they're anti-competitive. Pre-hire agreements are generally prohibited by the National Labor Relations Act, but there's a specific exception for the construction industry that says you can have one of these for construction, which just shows what a really effective lobbyist can do when laws are being written. So that's why I brought this up. I think it's good for the long-term health of the city, especially as we continue to grow and potential projects out there are large enough to draw a lot of attention that I think it's only a matter of time before we're asked to consider one of these. So I want to address it now, and that's why I brought it up.
And from what I understand on this too, this does not preclude you from using
Certainly
union
not.
workers. You can, it gives you the ability to assign either union workers or non-union workers, depending on the person that's
It
doing the
gives
job.
the option to,
Right.
it basically prohibits the city from only from signing an agreement that would make it exclusively to union work. So it's actually pro-competition, that everyone has, union, non-union, everybody can bid on city jobs. Best bid gets the job. Unless there's questions, I move to approve.
Have a motion to approve by Councilman Watts.
Second.
Second by Councilman Durham.
Could I ask a question?
You bet.
What does council say concerning this? Is it your recommendation that we approve, or is it necessary?
Well, as Councilman Watts mentioned, Texas is a right-to-work state, so the general thought is that a PLA would be illegal in this state, but as he mentioned, there is at least one case, the Supreme Court in another right-to-work state that has a right-to-work law similar to ours, in which the justices on that court held that because the right-to-work law only says that you can work regardless of whether you're in a union or not, and the PLA doesn't require you to be in a union, it just makes you work under the agreements made with the union. It's kind of a technical argument. They said it didn't violate the right-to-work law. So this would just foreclose an argument. I really can't answer the question on whether it's necessary, because I don't know if someone would actually make that argument, but it's kind of a belt and suspenders. You have the state right-to-work law, and this would just foreclose an argument. If someone wanted to come argue that it didn't violate the right-to-work law, you could say, okay, but we have an ordinance that specifically provides that we won't enter into one.
Right. The right to work is an individual's right. It says you can't hire or fire me based on whether or not I'm in a union or not in a union. And theoretically, anyone could work under a union-only PLA as long as they're willing to play by the union's rules, including if you're a non-union employer paying into the union pension fund, for which your employees are never going to see a dime. So it would require a non-union contractor to pay twice, pay whatever retirement plan they may have for their employees, plus pay into the union pension funds. Those employees, unless they join the union, will never see that money. So it's but the point the counselor makes is absolutely correct. It's been litigated in another right-to-work state, and their Supreme Court said that no, this doesn't violate right to work.
So we're not opening up any liability then?
Who's going to answer that one?
I don't want to put something on the books that's going to cause us to get there. You're okay with this is what I'm trying to get?
Right.
Okay. That's all I needed. Thank you.
Any other questions? We did have a motion and a second, Councilor.
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, prohibiting the city from requiring project labor agreements on city construction projects, providing for a repealer, providing for severability, providing an effective date, and declaring an emergency.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 15 is consideration of appointments to the Board of Directors of the Louisville Parks and Library Development Corporation. The 2-year terms for the board members of Louisville Parks and Library Development Corporation are currently expiring. Per the provisions of the Act, the City Council must appoint a 7-member Board of Directors. No more than 4 of the members shall be persons who are city employees, officers, or members of the City Council. Requirements for membership of the board are residents of Louisville and at least 18 years of age. All of the current board members have expressed an interest in being reappointed. These appointments may be discussed by the council in closed session. That the City Council consider the recommendation of the City Council consider the appointments to the Louisville Parks and Library Development Corporation. I don't see any need of this going back into closed session unless the council person just so requests. With that, Councilor Renner.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, when you say move to approve,
I'm
to
sorry, let me
reappoint,
be more clear. Just a move to approve the staff's recommendation to consider the appointments to those who want to run again here.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Sorry, I did cut off guard there.
That's all right. Just making the motion that everyone be reappointed that's been asked.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, we do have a motion by Councilman Renner,
Second.
a second by Councilman Watts. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Reports. Nika, Bob, Chief Lasky, Linda, Chief Kerbo.
No, sir.
Oh, sorry. Nothing? Lake sure looks good out there. That's right. My neighbor says the fish is biting. I hadn't gotten to go, but he says the fish are biting. Thank you, Carol. Jim?
I have a report on behalf of Mr. Conkey, just to remind the council that Holiday at the Hall Festival will be held Saturdays, December 4th in town Louisville. And per council direction, we have reduced the scale of the event this year, but the 3 most popular events will be held.
Okay. Thank you. Can you hear me now? Good. Per council direction, we've reduced the scale of the event this year, but the 3 most popular events will be held during Holiday at the Hall. Breakfast with Santa will be held from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. The motorcycle toy run will be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and the Sampac Ford Christmas Parade from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. The plans are currently underway for the Christmas tree lighting for either December the 6th or December the 20th, so that it coincides with council meeting.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Brenda? Everything looking good? Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Ferris? Mr. Backus? Councilman Durham?
Nothing, Mayor.
Councilman Grena?
Just want to remind everybody the holidays are coming up, and it's always a great time to see family, and it can be tough for a few people out there, so just keep your eyes open and have a good holiday, safe holiday.
Councilman Watt?
Nothing.
Assistant City Manager Donna Barrett, anything?
No, sir.
We thank you for stepping in tonight and doing a superior job.
Thank you, sir. Glad to do it.
Paul needs to take notes. I'm going to make him watch this on video and take notes. Councilman Thornhill.
Just everybody have a good and happy Thanksgiving, and be careful on the roads if you're traveling.
Councilman Tierney?
No, sir.
Councilor? Julie? As Councilman Thornhill said, happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and God bless you all. Thank you. In accordance with Texas Government Code, Subchapter D, Section 551.072, Property Acquisitions, Section 551.074, Consideration of Appointments to the Louisville Parks and Library Development Corporation, and Section 551.087, Deliberation regarding economic development negotiations, we convene into executive session.
Go ahead.